Welcome to Visions and Dreams. This is the prophetic journey of Daniel. We'll be looking in the book of Daniel, and when we are done with the book of Daniel, we'll look into the book of Revelations. Because these two books at the moment, they are the books that are happening, and they are the books that we need to study and understand where we are and where we are going. Daniel chapter 1, 1 and 2. In the third year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, into Jerusalem, and besieged it. And the Lord gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand, with part of the vessels of the house of God, which he carried into the land of Shinar, to the house of his God, and he brought the vessels into the treasure house of his God. May God bless the reading of his words. Sorry for that. You know, the book of Daniel opens with a story of how the true God of heaven had chosen a people to be his special representatives upon the earth. We all know the chosen people. These are the Jews, the Israelites, coming from Jacob, who wrestled with the angels, and his name was changed from Jacob to Israel. These people were to share what they knew, because clear instructions were given from God to them, how to live the life on this earth. Why are we supposed to follow or hear from them what they knew, so that even us, the Gentiles, can benefit? It's so that all nations and people could learn the wonderful news of God's salvation for all people. You and me could learn the good news about God's salvation for all of us. But these people were conquered by the Babylonians. Yes, indeed, what a pity then that the people of one true God were conquered and taken captive by heathen people from Babylon. You may be a believer, you may be a Christian. Things are not happening in your life as compared to those people you look at and you call heathens. The corrupt, they have all the money. The robbers, the thieves, the prostitutes, evil people, people who don't care, are the ones who are living lavishly. You, a believer, a full-time believer, you have given yourself to God Almighty, and in your mouth you only talk Jesus, Jesus, but things are not happening. The question you're asking yourself is why? I know even the devil laughs at us. Even when he sees us carrying Bibles, going to church on Sabbath, going to church on Sunday, he just laughs. Just the same as these soldiers who conquered and captured the chosen people of God, mocked them. They laughed at the religion of God's people. Because of this, despite the efforts of the people of Jerusalem to defend themselves, their cause was hopeless. Because the Lord himself, God himself, allowed King Jehoiakim and his people to be captured by Nebuchadnezzar's army. There are situations that God allows, and there are reasons behind that God will allow you to suffer. God will allow thieves to break in your house and steal. God will allow certain diseases to come in your life unexpected. God will allow the beloved person, beloved son, beloved husband or wife to die at that particular moment, even when you have fasted and prayed. The Bible in Psalms 127 verse 1 says, "Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh but in vain." Except the Lord protects you, the watchman, the dogs out there, your gun, your electric fence works in vain. I know most of us, we trust in those things and we have invested a lot in them than in God. I'm not saying you should be careless, but what I'm saying is, except the Lord keep your home, the watchman, the dog, your gun worketh but in vain. Beloved, this disaster was a fulfillment of repeated warnings by prophets sent by God to his people, Israel. Moses had warned that if they disobeyed the commandments of God, they would be carried captive into foreign heathen land. You can confirm that with Leviticus 26, 33 to 39. Jeremiah also reminded them that if they had been faithful to God and kept the Sabbath day holy, Jerusalem would have stood forever. Confirm that with Jeremiah 17, 24 to 27. Even 2 Chronicles 36, 20 and 21, those words of warnings were there. How many times have we been warned not to do things that we do? At times we take it casually. Our Christianity, our faith is only practiced on Sabbath or on Sunday. During the week, we are something else. Remember, brethren, we are looking at the subject, dreams and visions, the prophetic journey of Daniel. We need to be careful even as we give instructions, because some people in the family can cause problems or challenges that can affect the entire family, even our own children. That's why as parents we need to train our children. We need to train our children. We should just not neglect them and say, "Fear wabene." They will see whatever it will affect, it will come in the family. Look at this. Manasseh, King Manasseh. If you read this book of Daniel, you find that parents do well to consider that it was largely because of the wickedness of King Manasseh. Who is your Manasseh in your house? Is it the firstborn? Is it the lastborn? Is it the boys? Is it the girls? King Manasseh was Ezekiel's improperly trained and converted son. There are times we leave some sons or daughters behind and go to church. We don't mind when we're having devotions, they're in their rooms playing with WhatsApp, Facebook. We are afraid of them. We don't even control them, but we are keeping them because they are our children. King Manasseh, the son of Ezekiel, was improperly trained and converted son. As a result, all this evil befell Judah. Why? Because Manasseh led the whole nation so deeply into idolatry and heathenism. That is after the 70 years of captivity. We are being warned here in Daniel 1 and 2 that we need to be mindful how we train our children. We'll continue in part 2. May God bless you, and thanks for listening and watching. Shalom.